I'm Johnstine Kamolo. I'm a renewable energy expert, basically dealing with renewable energy solutions. When we talk of renewable energy, we're speaking about solar, wind, geothermal, marine. But for this side of the country, basically, and most of the guys, what we are dealing with mostly is solar and wind energy. Yeah, so that's what we normally do. Yeah, I started off as a dream somewhere, like 18 years ago, when I was still schooling in an engineering school. What happened is when I was in engineering school, our relatives, basically family, knew that they have an engineer in the family. So I was being called in to solve small issues. And during that time, I realized that also, I was gaining some skills, at the same time also trying to get some upkeep. So I saw it as an opportunity, and the urge to be an entrepreneur started there. So I ventured into sole proprietorship immediately after finishing my schooling, whereby I used to run the sole proprietorship matters, that is engineering, consultancy and design, in parallel with employment. So I did that for quite a long time, let's say almost 10 years. Apparently, the guys that we had start up together, I saw them outgrow me. Some have grown very big. I hear they have branches somewhere, even in the New York. So, and then I saw myself, why not take this opportunity and do what I like? So an opportunity presented itself to jump out of employment into entrepreneurship that I gladly grabbed. And then because this is what I know best, that is basically renewable energy. And in my former place and during my side hustles and all that stuff, I've been doing this. So I found myself very comfortable to jump into this. A renewable energy is a form of energy whereby it's natural, first of all, and it replenishes itself. So what I mean is, as much as it is replenishing itself, it produces very minimal or no carbon emissions. So like when you look at it from sun, the sun is free, it causes no harms. Then you can easily harvest it, make it energy, and you will not emit any carbon emissions. Same to wind, it's flowing, just nothing, no more emissions, and it also replenishes itself, whereby you don't need to fuel it or make it to power it in any way. So this, when we talk of renewable energy, is a form of energy that is natural, first of all. So when we look at the natural things that we have wind, sun, water, and geothermal, which is underneath us. Renewable energy is normally repurposed by providing a means of harvesting the renewable energy. So there are a form of harvesting this renewable energy, whereby you have to provide a solar panel, you harvest it. So the means, that's what we are coming in, is we are trying to provide you the infrastructure that will harvest the natural resource and turn it into power to solve your issues that you need. That's how you repurpose the renewable energy. Yeah, so for example, in this very installation, what you are doing is we are putting up a solar panel. The sun is shining, but basically you don't need sunshine, you need just sunlight. Yeah, so you'll harvest the sunlight and take it down through the cables, as you can see, to an inverter that converts it into AC energy that is used into the house. So basically what we are doing is we are putting up an infrastructure for the owner to be able to harvest the natural resource, which is the sun. So when it comes to wind, as you know, wind is quite tricky to do with because we have uncontrolled developments, and also we have certain wind paths that you need also some certain speed for you to be able to harvest wind. So for it to be a commercial venture and a viable venture, there is a lot of feasibility study that goes into it. But basically what you normally do is you use the wind to run a turbine that in return also generates an electricity that is now used in consumption, or you can also inject it into the grid. Okay, for water, the basic principle for water and wind, they use the same principle, whereby you need to turn the mechanical force into electricity. So what happens is you use the water, just like in the wind, to turn a turbine that now generates electricity that is used. So when you're assessing for a solar solution, we have three types of solutions that we normally offer. We have an off-grid solution. An off-grid solution is a solution whereby the client doesn't have any form of electricity or energy. So for that solution, what you normally do is size the solution in a way that it is able to sustain that very installation. That's an off-grid solution. Basically, that is to serve as a supplement, as an alternative form of energy, because maybe that person has not been able to be served by the grid or is out of the grid coverage. So secondly, we also have a grid tie system. A grid tie system is a solution whereby, let's say, it's most applicable in industries and offices, because these are 8 to basically 5 occupied spaces. So what we normally do in this kind of a system is whereby you harvest the sun directly using the solar panels, the inverters, then you inject, so it works in parallel with the grid. So what happens is it is a pivot, whereby in the morning when the production is too low from the solar panel, the grid takes over. But at peak, now the grid is very low, and then you are basically running almost fully 100% on solar power. And in the evening also, you now have the solar not working, and most probably that is the time that you close to your office. Yeah. Then the third solution is an hybrid solution. An hybrid solution is a solution whereby it brings in both solar and electricity. But it also has an option whereby if you have excess production, you can easily export it to the grid. But currently we are not there as a country, because we understand the government is doing something about creating a framework whereby it will allow people who are producing more than what they need to be able to export it. So an hybrid solution is whereby people want electricity, you can configure it. It's a configurable solution whereby you can have the grid as a backup, or you can have the solar as a backup. The first solution, which is an off-grid solution, and an hybrid solution, they normally come with battery. These batteries are meant to be, because you're producing too much electricity using the sun during the day. So you're able to store that energy for use in the after the sun has set. So basically that's a solution whereby, and the most common solution that we are providing in the market. Yeah. So for clients who want to run purely on solar, we've designed solutions that are working and are working. Yeah. It's only that the investment might be very big, but also the return on investment is something that is worth to look at, because, you know, as much as we are going to have different equipments, all these equipments have ratings. So you just need to know the proper rating of the equipments and the consumption that the client needs. And you easily can design a solution, and with good budgets, yeah, we've been able to achieve, not even for small residential houses, even for big institution, industries, they're able to run completely without using the grid. The mistakes that people normally make when going to solar is, first of all, people tend not to engage the experts. Because, you know, most people confuse electricians for solar installers. These are two different things, because in solar, there is the design. Because when you're doing the solar, you have to look at, there is a lot of design work to check on the consumption, which involves a lot of calculation. Secondly, now there is also the choice of equipments, because once you're having an installation, you have a lot of low quality products in the market. So the choice of product, which is very key, you need to get products that are, first of all, have warranties, and also they have been proved to be working. So that's how we approach our installations. And thirdly is the workmanship. The workmanship, and also the knowledge on how to integrate this system, because these things are also very risky when done by unprofessionals. They can cause fire. They can also fall off from the wind, because, you know, also wind is a very big threat. So if you don't have the knowledgeable person and the very well experienced and also licensed, the other thing is licensing, because most of the installers we have around are not licensed to do this work. So in the event of any eventualities, you have nowhere to go or any licenses to revoke. when I started off, I didn't know it would grow. And as I was going on and doing the thing, I got accepted. And you know, with more formal, I had clients who needed a formal way of interacting with me individually, and they needed something that is something they can interact, an organization basically, not a one-to-one, because you know, when I'm interacting with a client, most of the time, they'll not want to see them interacting with me, and I'm not also able to be on every other project. So it's from that point that I realized, yeah, there is a big opportunity. I started off with a few guys, but I'm proud today we are a big team doing many scopes at a go, because also the turnover will be up when you have many people. Challenges will always be there from the word go. So whoever is trying and thinking of venturing into entrepreneurship, it's going to be bumpy. That it's guaranteed. However, what the challenges that I've been able to face is also, first of all, the capital. You know, these are very expensive ventures that needs a lot of money to pump in. And you may have many clients that want to be served at a go. But now mobilizing and making sure that you have the enough capital to attend to each and everyone, and also the muscles to sustain some long-term credits that clients will request, is a big problem. However, out of the relationships and building also our credit with most of the suppliers and others, we have been able to get some credits, and then we can transfer now the LPO. Maybe you've been given an LPO to do a scope. It's easy to get equipment from the suppliers and distributors, and then go finish up. The client is happy, and then basically you get paid. But also the other thing we are facing is clients are not true. Some of them are not true. So there is that risk that we have been able to, sometimes you make, sometimes you lose. Basically, we are doing a solar power solution here. So the steps of doing this are, we normally have to put the structure that carries the panel. First of all, you come to site, you have to assess the site. By assessing the site, you are able to know the routes that you're going to use, the place that you're going to mount your infrastructure, and also you have to consider the client's need, because it's not any space that you can use on any other client's location. So basically you need to do a survey, a site survey, a very comprehensive survey, and also engage the client on what he or she needs done and where it needs to be done. So it's out of that survey that you are able to know what kind of structure you are doing. For this very specific client, what we are doing, we saw a space which is up here, which is very ideal. And for this location, what you are doing is you have to put the infrastructure, which is now the aluminium railing that is able to receive the solar panels. Why we're using aluminium railing is because, first of all, so what we did for this specific client is we are using aluminium rails because they don't rust. Taken in consideration rusting, other installers will always use steel, which is not ideal for installation in such locations. So we've put our infrastructure here that will receive the panels. Then we'll have the sun shining, and then we'll harvest the sun from this very place, and then we'll transport it using the cables that are here down to the inverter. This is DC current and DC voltage. So it will go down, and there is a very important component in solar that is called the inverter. That is what converts the DC current into AC. So basically what we are doing is once on a normal day, the rate of sun that is shining in a square meter is 1,000 watts per square meter. So that is what is shining here. But this solar panel, depending on the model and the rating, is able to convert like 20% of that. Yeah. So by having, like here in this very specific installation, we have this 700 watts panel. We are doing five of them. So that is at 3.5 watts. So 3.5 kilowatts. Yeah, the 3.5 kilowatts is what will be now converted into electricity to charge the batteries and also be able to feed the house needs at that very instant. Yeah, so as we are here, we'll see, I'll take you down and see what is happening, because already power is going to be generated from here. By the moment you are done there, the power will be already down there. Yeah, when we talked of about the choice, and location. We have a lot of determinant things. When you're doing a solar system, you look at it from this point whereby the location also matters. That's why I said when you're choosing an installer, you have to be very careful of their experience, because this very need is different to another. In solar solution, we don't have one size fits all. Every solution must be tailored as per the client needs. So someone will come and tell you, I'll give you a solution, but they've not done their own survey. They've not been able to know what your needs are. So ultimately you'll be given a different solution for someone else that will not work, and that will bring will bring frustration, and yeah, basically you'll start spending almost the same amount of money to get the things done right. After we're done with this installation, we have three things that we're doing in this very installation. So we are doing solar power solution. So the solution is basically to harvest the sun to run the house, that is the equipment, TVs, your fridge, your lawnmower and security system, all those things. But also we tried and look at the client, because when we come to your place, we are a solution provider. We're not just making a sale. So what I mean is we want to give you a solution that at the end of the day works well without limiting you. So for this very specific client, we gave other solutions that we are going to have them installed. We have given a solution for a solar AC. We have a solution for water heating solution. Yeah, so all that incorporates a complete solution. What we are doing in this current installation is we are installing 5 panels, 700 watts. That makes a total of 3.5. And we are feeding that power into a 6 kilowatt inverter. And we have 2 batteries, which are 5.12 kilowatt, which makes a total of 10 kilowatt hour. So these the solar panels that you can see here, basically they're called solar modules, but I know the normal Mwananchi calls them solar panels. They are normally called the solar modules. So the solar modules are able to produce at any instant 3.5. That power is too much and cannot be absorbed instantly by the batteries. So what happens is with the current technology that we have of inverters is whereby you can concurrently charge the batteries. The power can also be used together as it charges the battery, and also you can basically store most of it in one way or the other. Yeah. So for this very installation, as I've told you, we are going to have other solutions that will walk around and see, because we also have solar, like 3 more solar panels that will be used to run the solar AC. Why we are doing this installation as it is first of all, as you can see, there is a way that you find these panels are slanting. There is a reason. One is because of self-cleaning, because when you put them flat, they will accumulate a lot of dirt. So to minimize also the rate at which you are going to have maintenance on this equipment, you make them at least slant in a bit, whereby they can wash themselves with small rains, then they can wash themselves. Maintenance is required, but we normally try and train also the client, like matters of cleaning, but we'll always come in to check on the installation, but we try our very best that we do installations that will not require us to come and attend to issues. And also, it's just basically to check the healthiness of the installation. Yeah. Looking from the past and where we've come from, we have seen ourselves grow, and basically the market is there. The market is big, and as you can see, and from the data that we have, it's seen that the grid penetration in the country currently is at 75%. And all these 75, when you go to rural areas, it's at 65. So we have a cool 45% that needs solutions. And that solution could be solar, could be wind, could be water. So the market is there. And what we just need is to build a team and doing one installation at a time, getting clients satisfied, and then you get more referrals. Of late, we started off with very few, very few. But now the pipeline is getting full. So in the next few, we shall be maybe opening up a pop-up shop in different locations whereby people can come interact with our products, and yes, also try and come and accommodate some of the local community guys and train in partner up with the community, because we have a lot of people and young people who don't have employment basically, and they have the will, not only the knowledge, they have the will. So we also want to be able to build self-capacity within the community, and in partnership with different people and institutions, we'll be able to develop a way on how we can also, as much as we are going to be doing business, and also give back to the society.